Man, who needs a cup of coffee after that intro? That awesome, epic hard rock music was actually recorded and produced by Wendy's son, Logan. So thank you for that, Logan. That was really fun. My name is Matt Stiller. I'm Director of Professional Development for CPA Plus organization. And for today's theme of this live stream is continuing on from last week on fourth quarter tax planning. And today is tax planning ideas. We got a special guest that we'll introduce soon to help us really dig in deeper in taking tax preparation to tax planning to the fullest. So first and foremost, let's bring in Wendy St. Clair here, co-founder and COO of CPA Gardens. Hey there, Wendy.
Ready for Turkey Day?
What's that?
Are you ready for Turkey Day?
Oh my gosh, more than ever, just, a lot of time with friends, a lot of time with family. It's, nice little break that we all get. It's another awesome excuse for us to get together.
Right, right.
So before we get into these tax planning ideas, let's do a slight recap of last week on fourth quarter tax planning engagements.
Right.
There's, a really important element to it where when CPAs and EAs, Wendy, they come to this time of year and they can do this specialized engagement to, beyond just collecting information of, what was the owner's salary, what did they take out for, health insurance and this and that, just, reconciling the books.
Right. Well, there's a lot more than that, huh? I mean, for sure. I mean, with tax planning in the fourth quarter, there's lots of ways to do it, and there's lots of ways to do it not so great. And that's what's so good, about trying to plan in the fourth quarter. It makes everything smoother. You're not rushing around. So there's a lot of little tips and tricks that we discussed last week, which I'm sure you'll cover.
Yeah. One of the bigger tricks, or tips and tricks, let's say, that you could do as an accounting professional is learning how to expand your team with true oversight and guidance, where your expanded team represents you and your culture and the way you want to do things, not just like a referral plug and play that most people do out there. And that takes time to use the right discernment on who's who and who can carry the right message and all of that too. So as we continue to discuss these different ideas of how to engage with your clients, today we decided to bring in Andy Magnus. So let me bring him in. Hey there, Andy.
Hey, Andy.
Hey, how are you guys?
Great. How's it going?
Andy here is a CPA. He is one of our lead strategic planners that CPAs use in our network to help them with a more advanced tax planning and structuring. And you were with the IRS or worked as an agent there for about a half a decade. And you're also part of the CPA Gardens family. So kind of got a lot there, Andy. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me. This is such a rich topic and so much to share with people.
Yeah.
Sure. So tell me, you're the expert, Andy. What's the difference between strategic planning and then just planning somebody's return or, doing regular tax stuff? Tell a layman the difference between those things.
Well, I mean, tax return preparation, which most of us do, and then deal with the other stuff as it comes out, and not necessarily, doing it by reaction, which is, and going, okay, this is the what we have to work with. Now, how do we do damage control? Whereas strategic, tax planning, we take a look at it ahead of time. We're looking at, okay, what are the possibilities? I mean, we had these last 2 years, if nothing else, has shown us we certainly have. There's lots of opportunities to give a wider range of service to our clients to really help them in their businesses and in their personal life, as you talk about, in the oversight and guidance of their finances.
Yeah. One of the things, Andy, I like that how you respond to clients when they say, "What can I write off? What can I write off?" How do you respond normally to that?
Well, I say, what can I deduct is an okay question, but it only has two answers. How can I deduct gives you much more options.
Yeah.
So, because the IRS code is written in words, we can interpret things very differently sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Well, in your time with the IRS too, it's got to give you some kind of a leg up as far as planning, even with all of the new, new laws and things coming out all the time. I mean, you do, of course, strategic tax planning with your clients. How do you do it and find the time and schedule the time with your clients?
Well, what we're moving to the model of meeting with them actually several times a year, because a lot of times things come up for them that changes, and if we meet with them 2-3 times a year, maybe quarterly, we can find out what's on their mind, and again, do damage control before it happens. I can't tell you the number of times clients have come in and go, the oh by the way client, that I did this, I sold this, I bought this.
Right. I forgot to tell you. Surprise.
Yeah, and if we'd have known it ahead of time, we could have planned it differently and saved them some taxes, and really done some things that were strategically much better.
So
Right.
taking this,
You do.
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. I was just curious if you do meetings remotely with your clients, or are they all in person? I mean, with the way things are going now, I imagine the availability of, a remote meeting might be really advantageous as well.
It really is. It's also a huge time saver, and most people have gotten used to this platform. I mean, we
Right.
still got some folks that are technologically challenged, and
Yeah, I know
we
them. I know them.
yeah, we can still use the phone, but yeah, but it also cuts down on the travel time, which is a much better use of my time for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm a big fan of the Zoom meeting. So how do you position it with your clients, Andy, to to have all these several meetings, throughout the year? None of us want to do taxes, no matter how cool our tax guy is, Andy. But how do you position it with your clients so they don't think you're just trying to get another meeting, another chunk of money, whatever, and then it's best interest for everybody. How do you do that?
Well, again, we take a look at, we get them to kind of expand their vision and say, let's look at the larger picture, because some of the stuff we deal with when we get into talking clients is, it may have nothing to do with their taxes, but has everything to do with where they're taking their life and their business, or their even sometimes we even deal with family issues. But again, we are their, and this is an overused term, we're a trusted advisor, but we as tax people hear about things we probably never wanted to hear about, but that come up as a part of, you know
Life.
people, people just, it's part of life, and people, as they're talking about what's going on, sometimes we get into other things. So it's and for some people, especially for the, the businesses, we can then stretch their, we can get a monthly fee from them, and so it's a lot easier for them to accept that, number one, they're on top of our mind every month, but we're on top of theirs too. So again, it's like, well, I've got a question, and we have accessibility. It's like, this is part of what you get, is access to us,
Right.
because there, how many people lost out on, PPP2 because they didn't get information on it, or so it's not about more service, it's about higher level and better service for them.
Well, right, and when it's a planned meeting, I imagine, you can have things in place that that you talk about. You can plan for that instead of it all coming down to, on April 1st when people are panicking and, calling you and whatever throughout the year. That April 15th date has got to feel just fine if that's the way you've been handling it throughout the year.
Well, yes, and again, there's fewer surprises. Surprises are no fun.
Not
And
those kind, no.
again, the last meeting of the year, we do a rough tax projection and saying, where are we? Are we going to have to, should we, how much have you got put up for next year's taxes? Should we make some provisions for that? rather than, and we do most of our businesses and our clients on extension. So, and we try and give them a number in April so we can, avoid penalty and interest. But again, it's helping them see the advantage to them, because it can be a huge benefit if we as professionals put our mindset to, we're here to serve our clients and not just fill out a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And that also makes our service more valuable to them, because so many people go, okay, it's my annual opportunity to rat out myself to the government. But those are great numbers you can use to manage and grow your business too.
And this end of year tax planning engagement gives you a huge advantage to, take less rush time. You don't need to dive into just numbers, but more time with your clients to go into more leadership and guidance that they are desperate for overall. Through your practical questions will uncover all the challenges and struggles that people are facing today. So,
well, not all of them, needless to say, but you certainly get a bigger chunk of them. And again, you have the opportunity to deal with them up front rather than going, dealing in panic mode or, I wish I would have.
Well, right, you deal with them as they come up. Well, we've got a meeting next week. We'll talk about that, as rather than flurried email exchanges that you're not getting paid for. Let's be honest. I mean, you can spend a lot of time with your clients, and we're all trying to make a living and to help people. So trying to balance that, is super important, because we're people too. I mean, we have needs just like our clients do, and being able to address those quarterly or whatever has got to be a huge relief for everybody.
Yeah.
I find that most clients, like you said, Matt, most clients are starved to have that additional attention and don't know that it's available, and don't know how to ask for it.
Right.
Yeah. So I would like to get your thoughts, Andy, on this visual I'm going to bring up here in a second on more advanced tax planning ideas. And then after that, we'll go into different ways of charging for your service. So let's bring this up. Andy, I'd like to see or hear your thoughts on, let's say, the theme here, meeting the challenges today with different tax planning ideas. And here are some different areas that can be accounted for, such as the one in the middle, marketplace risk monitoring. That goes way beyond the obvious of just what's going on in the market. And hopefully all of you out there, have a good advisor managing your money right. But taking it beyond that, where Andy, you have all these clients in different marketplaces in different industries. Do you make sure that you're aware of the different industries they're in whenever you're doing this specific type of tax planning?
I do not have a specific, specialty that I really focus on. And I really rely on my clients to understand their marketplace. I understand the general business climate and some of the general business principles. But again, we need to rely on them on not only what's happening in their market with their competition, but with themselves, because I may be doing great and gangbusters, but the industry may not be because of some things I'm doing. So again, that's the importance of those meetings we talk about, is for me to get up to speed with what they're doing and what their industry is doing.
Yeah.
And again, when we're doing tax planning, let me just kind of bring up this one. In general, we look at not only what's your income level going to be this year and next year, and because we have the tax rates changing in 2026, but we also we look at the income levels and we look at the tax rates, and those are kind of two of the key things to look at in doing good tax planning. And then we can structure transactions around those two things. It's the timing when we do those. Is it better to put it in this year? Is income down this year? I see we got a helper there, Wendy.
Okay, there she is.
Yeah.
I told you.
And so again, that's information that I don't have immediately. It's got to come from the client. And hey, how is are your clients doing well? Because it's not only about the clients, it's about their clients.
Yeah.
And their customers and what's going on with their customers.
That goes back to what you said before, looking at the larger picture. Now, putting myself in the shoes of any viewers of this is like, I'm an accounting professional, but where do I get all the time to do all that for all of my clients? Well, Andy, one of these cool examples here is that you and another CPA are, let's say, tag teaming on different kind of strategies or tax planning approaches for the client, where the main CPA takes care of the tax preparation and the entity structuring and a lot of other things. And he asks you to come in and help with more of this strategic tax planning overall. So how has that been working out for you in your experience so far?
That's worked out very well. And really, I might recommend that, because it's like so many times we feel like as a tax professional, we're out there by ourselves. And the reality is there's other professionals out there that can help you without really digging into the middle of your practice. Again, there's agreements in place where I won't take on any of their clients, but I can help him in certain areas that I'm stronger in, my experience and my level, my experience and level of expertise over the number of years that I've had, that I can see things that he may not be able to see. So again, working with other professionals doesn't degrade from what you're doing. Actually, I think it says, hey, let me call in another professional so we can give you the absolute best help we can get.
Yeah.
I think that we're at the end here, but I think that speaks to the leadership, importance of good leadership for your clients, because you're making this decision. Hey, we can fix this. Let's talk to someone that has a little bit more expertise, and then you're building your relationship with your clients too, because they know you're looking out for their best interests, which is so critical. I mean, everybody thinks that they're after a dollar or two, and we need to be sure in our industry, especially, that we're looked at as leaders, as people that want to help in every way possible without sacrificing our lives. And there is a happy medium. And
Well, we're also
organization helps us find it.
Yeah, we're also setting an example for them, is that I can't do everything myself. I've got to reach out. And so many times, people go, oh, well, I can do QuickBooks myself. But the reality is yes, you can. But what could you be doing with the time that would be better, more productive? And in reality, you're not an expert in QuickBooks. So you're not paying for the expense, but you're also getting an amateur job.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, so we're setting an example for our clients in, hey, I know people. We can get you results without having to do it ourselves. So again, we're setting that example for our clients and giving them something to go, oh, and make it a point to point that out to them.
Yeah.
Because that's something that's not obvious to a lot of people. It's like, oh gosh, I can save $50 a month or $100 a month and do it myself.
You're not saving it. Trust me, you're not saving it.
Yeah.
I've known people that thought that way, and now they're paying back taxes. So
Yeah, well, and again, it's lost opportunity cost. That's the biggest expense I think that most businesses have, that they don't think about, is what's my lost opportunities.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Andy, thank you for joining us today, and I know we'll have you back pretty frequently. We're thankful having you here as part of the family, as part of the team, and helping out others lead by example. So yeah, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for the invitation.
Thanksgiving, guys.
Yeah, okay. You too.
We all have a lot to be thankful for, right? So let's remember that as we move forward. Things are difficult, but like I said, we all have a lot to be thankful for. Thankful for you guys.
Yeah. Actually, let's end it with this. why are we even here? What are we even doing here overall with these live streams, CPA Gardens, with your passion project, Wendy, what we're doing at CPA Plus organization? Look, people treat you, Andy, and all the other CPAs and other accounting professionals as like Dr. Phil out there. And you know, and our responsibilities to people and their and households and businesses goes way beyond just core services. So what we want to do is put this community together to exchange best practices and really help each other bring better answers to our clients, and not just, you know, business, but life as well, and making this more fun and being able to get creative while we charge for it too, because, you know, you like helping people, but we're not going to do it for free, because, you know, you got to support yourself as well. So that's, you know, a big part of the why we're all
I mean, really, to make people's lives better. You know, all work and no play is not the way anybody should live their life. So,
and it's okay to point out how you're helping them. That's the thing, is people oftentimes don't realize the value of what they're getting. So, you know, and it's okay to, you know, toot your own horn a little bit, don't go to extreme, but, you
know, give yourself an extra pat on the back.
You know, just help them to see it, because again, so often it's easy to take for granted in all areas of our lives.
Yeah.
And not only in our personal life as well as in our business.
Yeah. And with that said, let's end it on this. Show yourself more gratitude this week than you normally do. Like, we always need it. So have a great Thanksgiving week, Wendy,
Happy Thanksgiving,
Andy,
guys.
everyone watching here, and talk to you all next week on Tuesday.
Happy
Bye.
Thanksgiving. Yay.